I will talk about how AI can help your rental business. I work closely with rental companies pretty much every day, helping them with everything from sales, business development, and also how to use the implemented system, Sharefox, effectively on a daily basis, but also on a growth scale. And I use a lot of AI daily myself, helping our customers on their AI journey, but also in a lot of parts of my own work. So I've really effectivized or automated a lot of the way I work. I use it in a lot of different ways that I'll jump into. So it's not really theory, it's what I really see working for rental businesses. So that's why we came together to make this webinar as well, just to pull all of our experiences from different perspectives. And I want to talk about how it can help you right now. So not like Michał showed this great meme of like, is this a future endeavor or is this future tech in 5 years? No, this is available now. People are using it. It's really good to get ahead of the curve and really start using it to effectivize what you're already doing. This applies to all kind of things. It doesn't really matter what you rent. If you have also services attached to that, if you're also selling things attached to that, you can really use these tactics for everything. And the most important thing I want to make very clear from the start is you don't need to be developers, data scientists, or you don't need big budgets to use AI. I know it can seem overwhelming, but when you get into it, to a lot of the daily repetitive tasks or even SEO optimization that Michał was in on, most of what we're talking about is work you're already doing, but faster, more consistently, and a lot less manual effort. So that's kind of the focus on this. And it's not going to replace your experience or your customer relationship. It's going to support them because, of course, Sharefox is an automated booking system, but the customers want to feel taken care of and they want to feel, you know, like there's a person at the other end of it. So that's also where it comes in. Can I have the next slide, please? And thank you for sharing slides. When we look at where AI actually creates value for rental companies, it usually comes down to 4 areas. So the first obvious one is text and content. And I'm sure a lot of you are using this already privately. Help me draft an email, like Michał was showing, I want to book a trip, or, you know, just different kind of text-based aspects of your lives. So this is where a lot of people use this in businesses. The second one is images and visuals. So this is super powerful, and I think a lot more people are getting into it now. So there's a really good tool there to really take your visuals, which is what captures the customer, and really take it up another level without using expensive designer bureaus and things like that. The third area, which I also use a lot, is ideas and planning. AI is a really good, you know, companion when it comes to generating campaign ideas, pricing ideas, upsells, ways to package services, competitive. When you analyze your competition, for example, you can use it in a lot of good ways there when you especially form your business in the early days, but also when you want to improve on your existing rental business. And the fourth area is the customer communication. So helping staff respond faster, more clearly, and more consistently. And I know a lot of you guys are companies, you have a lot of staff, and a lot of you guys are one-man bands. So you're doing it by yourselves. So this is super powerful to you guys as well. And the key thing to understand is that none of this is new work. So you're already doing things that a lot of other rental companies are doing, and especially the smart ones that are smaller, but also big rental companies are using this as a strategy. So they also have staff focusing solely on this. So it's really good to get on top of that. Next slide, please. This is where I think most rental companies see the value almost immediately, especially when you're using Sharefox. So it can help you create website texts, product pages, rental descriptions for vehicles, tools, containers, anything you're renting out, FAQs about everything, you know, delivery, your terms and conditions, insurance, deposits, damage. Like, this is where I help my customers a lot with prompts and, you know, like, just how can we summarize this, and not just write a prompt, but also write a prompt for someone who's on holiday, or like, who is the customer you're targeting, because you're all targeting different customers. So being really clever in this can really help you automate so much work, which can take a lot of time. And also, you're not really, when you're free scripting these things, you're kind of just going off what makes sense to you, and you're so in your own business that it can be really good to get AI to look at it from a customer's perspective, because they might want other kind of information. And sometimes you might also need to sell them the item. It might not just be that they come in and they want it. You might need to like give them that extra push. So a very typical example of that would be asking AI, like, write a professional description for a 3.5-ton van, short, clear, and customer friendly. Something I did recently with the customers, we focused on usage of cars, as in like, when can you use this car? Is this a big car? Is this a family car? Is this for a romantic getaway? I mean, just being creative and thinking about the customer journey and who's booking. And instead of spending, this is kind of what I calculated, but at least half an hour just sitting thinking, you're doing the manual research, you can get this done in like 2 minutes. And of course, you need to look through. Michał talked about the hallucination part of things as well. So it's also good to just check things. When it comes to text and things like this, it's usually pretty spot on, but of course, double check everything and also insert your data that is real so that it is actually going out from your business. The same applies to visuals, so it can help you create website headers, campaign images, simple explainer graphics. This is where you can really take it up a notch, where you can really make the customer feel like, okay, I'm not renting from a one person that has another job. This is a side hustle, which a lot of my customers are. So this is to show them that really professional front, make Sharefox work for you while you're doing other things. And one important rule I want to say, because we can use Sora, for example, for videos or for images, but use real photos for your actual products. And you can place them in different ways, but use the real product and make sure you're double checking so that the customer is not going to be disappointed with what they receive, basically. And then, you can keep trust and things like that as well. Next. Or are you on next? No, ideas and planning is my next. Okay, so it's also a really good planning and idea tool, as I talked a little bit about. You can use it to generate campaign ideas for seasonal rentals or slow periods, pricing, package ideas, upsell ideas like insurance, accessories, or delivery. I know a lot of our customers actually make a lot of money on this. So it's also, you don't want to leave that money on the table because you haven't thought of it. And also sometimes it's great to see what are my competitors doing and how can I do it better? And, can you do some research for me online? You can even ask it to plan an entire email or webinar campaign. So you can say, give me 10 upsell ideas for a tool rental company. And even if you're only using 2 or 3 of these ideas, and a lot of it's like, oh, I can't use this, you've already saved a lot of thinking time. And I think if you really like scaling your business, as you know, time is absolutely money. So just like especially when you're on your own or you're a small business or a family business, just outsourcing a lot of these things. And then when it comes to customer communication, we can also help you with those things. So you can create reply templates for common questions, improve the tone so reply sounds clearer, more professional, and also translate content between languages. A lot of you are based in Nordics, but a lot of you also have tourists, or you have people that don't speak the language. So you might not speak that language. So you can really use that there for translation, so you can keep that native communication going. Even without a chatbot, this reduces a lot of stress for you guys and also improves ultimately the customer experience. Next, please. AI works best when it's combined with good systems, and that's where Sharefox comes in. So AI can help write product descriptions, but Sharefox is where those descriptions turn into real bookings. AI can draft emails, and Sharefox workflows can automate them when those emails are sent. AI can also create SEO text that bring your traffic to your website, and Sharefox converts that traffic into reservation, which is ultimately money and revenue. It can also help you create FAQs and help content, which reduces the number of support tickets over time. So this is also really good just with the work around when you have a successful rental business. You also need to manage that in an effective way. So think of AI as the assistant that creates content and ideas. And Sharefox is the system that turns that work into operational results, basically. That's how I would put that. And I also want to say, Michał talked about all the different ones. I personally use ChatGPT for these kind of things. I use Sora for image creations. We also have, somebody put in the chat here, they wanted the presentation in Norwegian, for example. So I also use Gemini to translate PowerPoints like this. So you can use it in a lot of different ways and a lot of different tools. And before we wrap up, last slide, please, for me. I just want to say one thing very clearly. So everything you've seen today has been intentionally high level, not because this is complicated, but simply because I had limited time. So in reality, this becomes much more valuable when we look at your specific rental setup, your products, your customers, and your workflows. So if this is relevant, you're welcome to book a free 15-minute introduction call with me. Hopefully someone will post that in the chat, or I will do that after this. And then we'll go through this a bit deeper. We'll go through the practical AI prompts. How does this work in different scenarios? How can you train it to understand what you want? How can you adjust the tone? And how can you prompt the AI? And also one thing I didn't touch on here as well is that ChatGPT, if you have the paid version, it has a lot of different, as I call it, personalities that you probably know, where you can explore different ChatGPTs. So there's some really good ones there that you can use as well.